Good morning. Chris Lee here at Southeastern 16, joined by Graham Doty. We're here to react to Auburn and Coastal Carolina, which ended in the wee hours of the morning. Full disclosure, I had an airport run this morning. So when the rain delay hit last night, yours truly made a decision to hit the sack, not knowing if we'd have more baseball and get up and see what happened. So I saw a lot of it, but not all of it. Um, Fascinating game. Auburn gets behind, 5 runs, Graham? Game goes to extra innings, and Caden Bodine, who hit a home run earlier in the game, he's a future potential first or second round catcher this summer for the Chanticleers. And yeah, he ended up being the difference in Coastal Carolina's 7-6 win over Auburn.
To me, this said so much about Coastal Carolina. Chris, I didn't think their starter had his A game at all, and they were still able to win this game. How do you pronounce their starter's last name?
Fluky?
Fluky, yeah.
I think so.
So,
Yeah.
uh, his stuff is electric, by the way, but he just couldn't locate last night at all. And his pitch count in the third inning, he was almost in the 60s as far as pitch counts. Part of that is Auburn and their approach and what they do. Part of that was he just couldn't locate.
Yeah.
Uh, and then this is a Coastal team, they don't hit a lot of home runs, around 50 this season, and they hit 4 last night, and that was essentially the difference in the game. And you got to give a ton of credit to Coastal Carolina. They were able to weather the storm, pun intended. I think it was 110-minute delay, and then they resumed that bad boy at 11:45 at night, which is almost 1 o'clock in the morning their time. And that they were able to finish strong. And it looked like most of the fans are still there too for Auburn. It didn't look like a lot of people went home.
Yeah, their baseball crowds have been terrific, which I'm glad to see. I've never been. Looks like a beautiful ballpark from TV. Of course, I think they've got one of the premier coaches and just one of the guys that really appeals to fan bases, and Butch Thompson. We've had him on our show a couple of times and just could not be nicer. I think for Auburn, though, probably the big thing was we circled Sam Dutton as maybe the key guy for this regional, because the first, I don't know, 3/4 of the season, Sam Dutton was dominant. And the last 3 starts heading into the Super Regional, he wasn't. The numbers dropped off big time. We had talked about how I think at LSU he threw about 30 innings a year ago. Sam Dutton was at 82 innings coming into last night. And probably, I guess, the last 3 starts span maybe, I don't know, 14, 15 innings. I'd have to look that up. And he was nowhere near the pitcher that he was then. In fact, I would say his start over the 3 starts coming into this one, his ERA in those starts compared to the balance of the season before that was probably 3-4 times as high. And so I wondered, is Sam Dutton hitting a wall? Well, last night he hangs a breaking ball to Bodine early. He ends up giving 6 earned runs in 3 2/3 innings. And look, Auburn has enough pitching, I think, to get out of the regional compared to most teams. Now, Coastal Carolina is a very unique situation because, boy, those guys have got pitching coming out their ears.
Yes,
but in addition to that, they used Carson Myers last night, who's been their break glass in case of emergency guy and probably their most affected pitcher lately. So I'm a little concerned about Auburn getting 2 wins. Now, they've got the talent, right? Cam Tilley is a quality arm. Alvarez was great in the regional. Cade Fisher's been shown up, from time to time. That they also threw Hetzler at the end. He's the one that gave up the winning run. He threw 16 pitches, so they can bring him back. But between what happened with Dutton last night and the fact that they used Myers, who right now I think has been their most effective arm, I'm going to say the last month of the season, Auburn's pitching situation is concerning would be a strong word because, again, they've got talent, but certainly the guys that they have leaned on and have given them the most production throughout the year are not going to be. Well, Myers could throw. He threw 29 pitches last night, but it's just not ideal.
Well, what Sam Rogers said in the chat is what I was about to ask you as well, Chris. Like, it doesn't get any easier for Auburn because
Yeah.
Coastal is going with their ace today.
Oh gosh. Well, and Fluky is, I believe he's a sophomore, so I think he's highly regarded for next year's draft. I mean,
He's a true
again,
sophomore. Yeah.
Coastal's got probably 10 pitchers that any team would kill to have. And that's your biggest problem. I mean, you say ace, I look at it and like, man, these guys are all really good.
Yeah, they are. And I know, like, on paper it's different, but Jacob Morrison, he's 11-0, an ERA of 2.19, 89 strikeouts to just 19 walks in 90 innings.
Goodness. Yeah, I mean,
I kind of felt like Auburn really, really needed to win game one for a variety of reasons. This is going to be a tall task for a variety of reasons. I mean, one, like, you just played that marathon of a game, and then it's kind of a tight turnaround. You know, like, they got to play at 2:00 today, which means they got to show up at the ballpark here in about an hour or so. So, I mean, one thing about Butch Thompson and his team, like, they are extremely tough mentally and all that stuff. So he'll have them ready to go. But it's going to be a battle now, just because of the pitching for Coastal. And like, I don't know, last night it seemed like anytime Auburn was like on the verge of getting something big going, like, Coastal Carolina got two massive double plays. Just in late and like big spots in that game, and that's one of their calling cards. They got the best defense in the Sun Belt. Again, that's a team, they just get a lot of like singles and doubles, and then they play really, really good defense, and they pitch it well. So I mean, this is not a fluke at all with what Coastal Carolina has been able to do.
I was going to say, it wasn't like a bad night for Auburn's offense. They got 11 hits. They walked 5 times. I mean, that's a good outing most nights. That's especially a good outing against Coastal. They got a home run from Mike Irish. They got one from Snow in a big spot late. But, yeah, I mean, defense came up at big times, and just being able to pitch through traffic, that environment, that's not an easy thing to do with all the pressure on you in a super regional and particularly in someone else's ballpark.
Yeah. Without a doubt.
Yeah.
Chad's asking where Jay is. I'm pretty sure his daughter has a softball tournament somewhere.
Yeah, I think that's right. He's got all kinds of travel softball duties. She's going all over the place.
Yeah, and she's a legit prospect too.
Yeah. Could see her in the SEC one day.
Yeah, we'll be playing in the SEC.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we've got welcome, Quinn. By the way, a lot of the regulars here. Sam's landed in Arkansas. Sam, be safe on your travels, my man. That'll be a fun series.
It will.
Sam, Quinn, don't give up, Quinn. Go ahead.
Yeah. I was just gonna ask Sam, how many games on the road do you go to? I know you went on a handful in the regular season. I'm just curious because that's awesome that you do get to go to so much. And yeah, Quinn, like, man, it's baseball. Like, never say never. Like, it's still a home game and all that stuff. And I mean, as long as you got, he said he has 0 faith. Man, as long as you got Ike Irish and like Cooper Murray, man, you always got a chance.
Look, we knew this was going to be a tough series for Auburn. I mean, I said I think it's a coin flip. Just not a lot of teams have Coastal's pitching. You just don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, exactly. So, you got to get prop. He says we're cooked, man. Like, you just got to have the faith. Give props though to Auburn. I know they just kept, like, with their fans and everything, they kept like installing temporary bleachers. Chris, I know you never been to that ballpark. There's not a lot of room or space, like, at all. So the odds of them like expanding, especially in the outfield area, aren't very good. But just the fact that you see that there is a huge appetite for baseball like that, I think it's great.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that fan base has been interesting because, like, it used to be a football-only fan base.
Yeah.
And now, man, they are engaged in basketball and baseball, and I think it's fantastic.
Well, part of it is what the football team has done, here lately. So
Yeah.
they kind of latch on. I mean, I've been there for I've done a gymnastics meet there, and man, they sold that Neville Arena out for gymnastics. It was awesome.
Yeah. Has Auburn announced a starter for today?
Not that I have seen. Like who would potentially be on the table?
I
Like
mean, I would think
Tilly.
Tilly would be the guy that if I had to guess without knowing anything. Although the weird thing last night was Coastal hit their lefties pretty well. I was listening to Lindsey, oh gosh, Lindsey Crosby a little bit before we came into this today. So Myers is a lefty. They hit him. They didn't pitch Fisher. Or no way, they hit their righties. Was that what it was? I guess the Hetzel's a righty, Dutton's a righty. Graves
Great.
is they hit both. Although Graves was the most effective. So he was a lefty. So I would think we'd see. Oh, well, you could see Fisher today if it really is a thing where Coastal hits lefties really well.
No, Corey, I'm not a gymnast. I broadcasted a meat in Denver, like in
Man, I
the
thought you were a gymnast the whole time.
I don't want to tear my ACL. But when Suni Lee was there, man, that was an event.
Yeah. Yeah. We got Tennessee fans in the chat this morning. They got a big one this afternoon.
Well, what time is that game?
Well, I know that someone put in the well, let's see. It's supposed to be 4 Central. Auburn is supposed well, let me just give you your schedule for all these Central times. Louisville, Miami starts at 10. Good grief. That'll be 11 their time, which Louisville's in Eastern time, and so is Miami for what that's worth. North Carolina and Arizona at 11 Central. Murray and Duke at noon.
Holy smokes, give me the Tar Heels.
Yeah, no kidding. Yesterday was a bloodbath. West Virginia LSU at 1, Auburn-Coastal at 2, Tennessee, Arkansas at 4. So we may have some series decided by the time Tennessee and Arkansas play tonight, which will be weird.
Yeah.
UTSA and UCLA at 6, and Oregon State at Florida State at 8, because, of course, we can't have a game not starting at 8. Although that one makes more sense. But, man, that would suck being a Florida State fan. That starts at 10 your time.
Yeah. And also just what happened to them last night. Did you see the graphic? Both teams, like Florida State was undefeated when they had the lead after 8 innings, and Oregon State hadn't won a game all season when trailing after 8 innings.
And they got all the runs the tying runs all with 2 out. Yeah.
But the times are weird. Like, remember, everybody, these times are weird for these games because it's a triple header on ESPN and ESPN2. That's why the times are all over the map.
Yeah. Which, I like, when you put it like that, I've got less of a problem with it. I mean, at least they're doing something to get exposure. But still, it does.
Yeah. And they put the games they don't think a lot of people are going to watch on ESPNU and Duke, Murray State, UTSA, UCLA.
So I'm sure Arkansas, Tennessee's ESPN.
Yeah, that's like prime time, 5 Eastern on ESPN.
And so the last one is Oregon State.
Correct. That's on the Deuce. That's on ESPN2.
So are they leading off with LSU?
So first game of the day, Louisville, Miami, LSU.
Well, that would be a quadruple header then.
So hold on, 1, 2.
Because are those all on ESPN?
No, 3 on ESPN, 3 on ESPN2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I'm presuming that West Virginia LSU gets the other ESPN slot.
Yeah, that's 1 o'clock Central.
Yeah. Okay. Coastal hasn't been getting respect all year. Hey, we've called that out multiple times. They've gotten respect here.
Very true. Sam Rogers, lack of space. How about Duke hosting a super? Man, you're not wrong. I've been in that ballpark too. Like, Chris, you were wondering about would they play it at the Durham Bulls facility? But you
Yeah.
got like their season is going on. The Durham Bulls could be at home right now,
Yeah.
so that's why they're going to play on campus there.
Let's see what else. Yeah, I think for Auburn, you've got guys that you could use the rest of the weekend: Chatterton, Tilly, Alvarez, Fisher, Carlson, Graves. Oh, sorry, Graves got used yesterday. Armstrong, Petrovic. I mean, there's still a lot of good arms left.
Yeah. I mean, for the most part, they're in a good spot, and I mean, if this is the kitchen sink game, I mean, you got to win this one, obviously, to force tomorrow. So if Butch does something like uncharacteristic, I mean, that's kind of why season on the line here.
Yeah, I mean you have to play to win. Although that does mess you up in the fight. I don't know. Part of it too, like if you're coach, you're thinking, all right, got to win two. I do think you have to, Sam. I do think you have to play to win today, but I do wonder
Mhm.
how much like, okay, we got to win two tomorrow, and how do we hit that all in one lick is an interesting. Be interested to get inside Butch Thompson's head to hear how he thinks through it. So,
Yeah.
um,
Also, did we ever find out like was Butch under the weather? Like, what was going on?
I
Did
didn't
you
see
see?
it.
Did you see any of that? So
No.
he had a towel over his face, and then
Oh
like
gosh.
there was a moment in time where like he just left. He just left the dugout and went back to their facilities.
Did he get like a summer cold or something?
Man, I don't know.
Hmm. Um, let's get into the afternoon games in just a second. But reminder to support those who support our product. That includes our friends at GameTimeSidekicks.com. SE16. Get you 10% off your order. And man, their stuff is phenomenal. I'm drinking my water out of one of their 20-ounce tumblers. They've got these. They've got stuff for your favorite team. The quality of these is phenomenal. I mean, they are, let me just read you the stuff. Officially licensed stainless steel drinkware. Every SEC school, 350 more universities in addition to that. Top of the market quality as far as construction and ice retention. Double wall, vacuum insulated stainless steel. All logo printing and product decoration are done in Knoxville. And let me tell you, the thing that's going to stick out to you when you get your order in the mail, and order some for yourself, get you some for Father's Day, whatever the case may be. The paint on these things is incredible. I don't know what the paint is. It feels like one of those enamel paints that you have to, you know, chisel off with a chisel if you want her to get it off. It is really good quality stuff. It sticks on there. Tons of designs and logos offered for each school, even a college vault line, which is not something a lot of companies have. Stainless steel sippy cups, tumblers, 40-ounce bottles, shaker cups, you name it. Again, GameTimeSidekicks.com. SE16 is your discount code. That'll get you all of your product 10% off. Have you gotten yours yet, Graham?
Just the ones that one I've already had two for like a few years now, and then my wife got the SEC ones this week. Then the ones that you sent, I should
Yeah.
get hopefully soon here.
Yeah.
Lawless was asking about North Carolina's odds. Are they the favorite right now? That's what I was just looking up. A Vegas Insider has Arkansas the favorites at plus 300.
Really?
North Carolina is plus 700.
Where's LSU?
They're second, 375.
Wow, LSU's behind Arkansas at the moment?
Yeah.
That's a little surprising. You can debate what team's better, but one of them's got to play Tennessee.
I'll tell you a good bet. Coastal's 1,500.
Oh, goodness. Yeah. Let's see. Today we'll have Marcus Phillips and Zach Root for Arkansas and Tennessee. And LSU, I think, is going Cade Anderson, and I believe West Virginia going Griffin Kern.
Yeah, I'd be stunned if they went a different route.
Yeah.
That guy's got a rubber arm.
Yeah, Shannis has put money on one of the Carolinas because of the easier path. I think that's probably true, but I don't think there's any super easy path in these.
Keep Aiden in Tuscaloosa. That's funny.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Also, how do we feel about Coastal's uniforms? I just think they could be so much better. You know,
yeah,
you're one of one for team nickname. Like you got one of the best and unique nicknames out there, and color schemes, and you just go with a block C on your hat.
Yeah, I mean their football helmet logo is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I don't. Here's one thing I don't understand. I don't understand why we don't get more football logos on baseball hats. You got some really good logos.
I know, like Mississippi State's. That is a baseball only logo for Mississippi State. They will not put that on a football helmet. That is baseball only. I think that's one of their better logos.
Yeah, the traditional baseball.
Yeah, the interlocking letters.
Yeah.
Anytime you see interlocking letters, I'm in.
Yeah. I like some of them. Not all, but I don't like anything that gets too complicated.
Yeah.
Carolina's got one of my least favorite football. South Carolina is the block C with the chicken in the middle. There's just too much going on.
The block C with the chicken in the middle of it.
Yeah. Sam's not having a good time at the airport.
Yeah, Sam, I mean, if the airport was getting on your nerves, I can't imagine what you're going to be like first pitch time.
Yeah.
Ball script on the football helmet would be cool.
I mean, see, we're thinking alike. I mean, the power T is kind of iconic, but I'm all in for a good script. Like the baseball, some of their baseball scripts are really good.
I'm thinking that would be maybe one or two games. I just think people would lose their minds if that was a permanent change. I mean that T. Think of how long that T has been on the side of that helmet.
Yeah, I do think people would lose their minds.
Yeah, congratulations, Nick, on your Longhorns winning the national championship.
Oh, did they? Okay.
Yeah, they scored 5 runs in the first, and that was enough. Also, Chris, we haven't talked about this, but we got to. I was not anticipating before midnight that the news broke with the House, and then all the craziness is about to really, and I mean really, really get underway. Did you think that was going to happen yesterday?
I mean, I was reading. Who was it? I don't know if it was. Oh gosh, who's the guy that covers all this for Yahoo?
Ross Dellinger.
Ross Dellinger. Yeah, I was listening to a podcast with him early in the week. Of course, nobody knew, but he said I'd be surprised if it wasn't by the end of the week. So, yeah, I mean, I still don't know what to make of it. I still think you're going to have another round of lawsuits, and I don't know what's going to stick here.
Well, I can tell you the first round of lawsuits, whoever decided that they're going to go back just 10 years for former student athletes, and they get money and nobody else outside of that. Who came up with the 10-year window? That's an easy one where they're going to get sued right there.
I wonder if there's a statute of limitations. Maybe that was it.
Well, yeah, 10 years. I guess 10 years would be the statute limit, but still, who you're telling me Reggie Bush or Vince Young or whatever, just somebody who was super popular over a decade ago wouldn't want to get in on that?
Yeah, this is interesting too. So I guess the SEC is going to limit what teams can spend by sport.
So everybody, you can kind of pick and choose how you want to break it down, but it seems like most of everybody is it's like 70% football,
Yep.
15% men's basketball, 5% baseball, and then the rest to everything else.
Yep. What was
So,
baseball its own category, or was that included in Olympic sports?
well, what's the math? If it's 70, yeah, it's 75, 15, 5,
I think
5. Yeah,
5 is
that's
women's basketball and 5 is everything
correct.
else.
Yeah, 5 is everything else. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean that's going to be um hmm. I mean
So
you would think most places would give baseball the remaining 5%, but like what happens at Auburn or LSU where gymnastics are a big thing? Like
correct.
think about LSU for a minute, okay? You got that and you got baseball in that 5%.
Yeah. The like a big reason why you saw Mississippi State like race, and I mean literally race to the finish line to sign Ace Reese before midnight.
Yep.
Like you gotta get that taken care of. Like you
Yeah,
gotta
I wondered the smart schools I would think would have been doing that. But here's the thing, like I mean, nothing could technically stop Ace Reese from picking up and going somewhere else at this point, other than just common decency. But
correct, but I guarantee you that man is about to be taken care of for the rest of his days at Mississippi State.
yeah, see, this is the part. And by the way, Sam is articulating the thing I've been saying for a while. I just don't know that this is going to be the solution long term that people think it is.
It's not. I mean, I it to me, it's going to benefit. You know how Major League Baseball, it's teams like the
Yep.
Yankees, the Dodgers. It's going to benefit teams like that, like your Ohio States, your Michigans,
Yeah.
like the bluest of blue bloods. It's going to benefit schools like that. Like Texas Tech has been a factor here lately in a variety of sports because they have a lot of oil money and they have a really good collective and everything. I mean, it's trending like if this sticks, schools like that aren't just going to be a factor
Yeah.
as they have been within like the last 5 years.
See, we're getting contradictory stuff. Wes Nash says some schools are moving that. See, I've heard that the SEC had a dispute over what that was going to look like. Some schools wanted to, to have some discretion to spend it as they wanted. Yeah, there were some schools that, or maybe the commissioner, I don't remember how it went, wanted it certain percentages.
Yeah.
See, that's going to be fascinating. Like, SC Scout guy says Arkansas's track program. Fair point. I mean, they've been good for so long.
Yeah.
You got a lot of programs like that. Softball. Goodness gracious! Like, what does Oklahoma softball do?
Yeah.
And I wonder too. Like, do you see a men's baseball basketball thing? Like, if Mississippi State's going all in on baseball and it's discretionary, I mean, if it is a hard cap, that's got to take it from someone. And by the way, you can still get NIL, but it's got to go through the clearinghouse. And there's a 600. No, was it 600,000 or 600? I've seen both figures.
I thought it was 600,000.
That's the first way I saw it. I thought like 600 is like, wow, that's going to be.
That's
So okay,
that's
so you could pay somebody $599,999 to play men's basketball or fill in the blank if it's that, and it doesn't have to go through the clearinghouse. You don't have to do anything for advertising.
Yeah. What did you make of, again, if you want the info like Ross Dellinger, I feel like this literally has become his beat like the last
Yeah.
3 to 4 years. Like he's the only guy that covers all this and the detail that he does. He said a former Major League Baseball employee is gonna like the NCAA is targeting him to be like the commissioner or CEO of all this. Did you see that?
Say that again.
NCAA is targeting like a guy that has been involved with Major League Baseball. They're going to make him the face of this. So like he's going to be the commissioner, like whatever term they're going to call it, and he's going to call all the shots.
Wait, for all sports or for just
Yes.
baseball?
Yes.
Okay. I think you need different commissioners for different sports, but
I do too.
do we have a name?
Yeah. Hold on. I'm pulling it up right now. Brian Seeley, Major League Baseball executive to be CEO of the enforcement entity. He's also a former assistant U.S. attorney, Major League Baseball's VP of Investigations for a CEO role.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, my head is still spinning with all this.
Guys, it's about to get weird. Like it's gonna get beyond weird. You're gonna see a bunch of lawsuits upon lawsuits.
Well, let's say that there is some kind of cap that holds for this, which I don't think is going to happen, but just play along with me. That money is going to go somewhere. And so maybe it becomes a facilities arm race again.
Yeah. So since this is a baseball show, how does this impact baseball? Kendall Rogers had a lot of really good stuff about it and just like what you can expect. And again, you remember we were wondering yesterday, or you asked like for those scholarships, 34 scholarships. So those are full scholarships.
Somebody said that there's like even the roster limits, like there's some exemptions for players that were on them before. I'd never heard that. Had you?
I haven't.
I'll
You
have to
must
look
be
into
cleared
that.
the 44-man roster by December the 1st.
34?
Yeah.
Man. Yeah, Wes Nash is right. Like that doesn't get you very far for baseball, especially if you're trying to compete with a team with a signing bonus.
Correct.
Yeah, and I think Sam is right. This is what I've been saying for months.
Yeah.
No, you can like, and I was having this conversation with somebody. Like there are ways to deal with this, and it's like women's NBA. I think was one that somebody talked to me about that where like I think you've got a salary cap there, but what would stop you from, and this would apply to any sport, right? What would stop the Yankees from, okay, we're going right up against and I know you have tiers that you go over and you pay the luxury tax, but just ignore that for a minute. What would stop the Yankees from, oh, we're spending one penny under the cap, but then all of a sudden, Aaron Judge gets an advertising deal worth a gazillion dollars. No, look, Aaron Judge is marketable enough where he can get those on his own. So that's probably not the right example, but you get the point. The question I was having was like, what would stop any pro team from getting around a salary cap with endorsement deals? And I think some of them have those measures in place at the pro level. I haven't unpacked all that. And I think I think this is the explanation I've got. It was collectively bargained through a union, so I think there are limits on that. And see, this is what, to me, I think if they were smart, everybody would have figured out a long time ago, let's get everybody in the room, let's get representation, rather than playing this game of chicken that they're playing now. Where, okay, we've got the rules, which are the rules imposed on one party by another, without the other party really having a big voice in it, other than a bunch of lawsuits getting them to this point in the first place.
Yeah. I think, really college baseball, I don't know if you agree, but I feel like the craziness the last 3 years, college baseball has been the least impacted, salary wise. Like some of these numbers you hear for football, like transfer portal, NIL, and really like college basketball this
Hmm.
cycle, you're hearing guys like role players getting like seven figures, things like that. To me, like college baseball, it's really been one of the few sports where the numbers haven't jumped up super crazy like that.
Mm,
I
I
mean,
think
not
they're having some spot. Well, not like
not
basketball where
like,
you can be
not like
ordinary and
4
make a million. Yeah,
yeah. Like who's the Memphis transfer, PJ, whatever? Like he wants $4 million.
right.
Like there's no college baseball player that's going to get $4 million.
Yeah, I mean, where baseball, where you've seen it, like the Ryan Prager situation last year, where he got drafted, what, top 60, top 75, and Ryan Bell at Kentucky was, or Tyler Bell at Kentucky was another one. Like, I don't know that if NIL is in place, that those guys are on campus playing ball on a college setting this last year.
Yeah, Toppin got $4 million at Texas Tech. Like, first of all, good for him. Holy smokes! But I'm telling you, like Texas Tech is one of these schools that's going to get impacted.
Yeah,
Like they I don't know if you saw, but before the season started, they paid the pitcher Kennedy to transfer from Sanford to Tech. They gave her slightly over $1 million. They re-signed her again yesterday. They gave her even more money yesterday for next year.
right before all the stuff hit.
Yeah, right before all this craziness.
I'm interested. I'd be interested in what those contracts look like, because if you were smart, you would you'd lock something in to say, hey, like if you transfer out, all the money comes back to us.
Yeah. Sven, about like Ace Reese re-signed with State. That's what I was saying. Like when this news broke of all this stuff going down, like you knew Mississippi State was going to go to him and like, what's your number? Like what do we got to do to get you to stay before midnight last night? So
Yeah.
he's coming back. And then also saw I did forget, yeah, Mississippi State, Robert. Yeah, thanks for pointing it out. I forgot they did use their baseball logo. They put it on the side of their football helmet for like one or two games here recently. So
Yeah.
I forgot they did that.
This is what I've been thinking for a while is going to happen. It's going to go back to bagmen. And then that's going to be an enforcement nightmare. And this is why I said they should have gotten out ahead of it. They should have had some kind of negotiation for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And then you don't have to go through all this. But I think that's where it's headed. I just don't see how it doesn't.
Correct. Yes, midnight last night was the deadline. Like Kendall Rogers was all over it, tweeting about it. If you want to go look on his feed
Do you have a Cliffs?
from Kendall.
Yeah.
Hold on. There is a busy night baseball wise. So
Uh-huh.
Kendall's had a lot of tweets like about about all the games and then all that craziness and then like with Reese re-signing. Where is it? All right, here's some from Kendall 13 hours ago. Some things to know for college baseball: any NIL deal $600,000 or more must be approved by a clearinghouse. College baseball rosters will trim from 40 to 34 in
Wait,
2020.
give me the amount one more time. I'm sorry.
40 to
No, 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 no,
34,
no, no. The was it 600 or 600,000?
600,000. But like you,
Okay.
I've seen both. I've seen 600 and 600,000. To me, if it's 600, that's going to be almost every
Oh my God, the
student
clear house
athlete.
will be overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Schools are not allowed other offer unlimited scholarships, 34 in baseball.
Yeah, I think we're about to have a lot of $599,000 NIL
Correct.
deals.
And then Kendall said, just a fair warning that the settlement is not codified into law, so expect a lot of lawsuits until that's done. Correct.
Uh,
You must declare a 34-man roster by December the 1st. I'm not expecting major conferences to hold members to a specific scholarship total. Each program to offer as many as they want, up to 34. Walk-ons will still be allowed.
oh, so you can have walk-ons on the roster.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I mean,
So
you can be
it's a 34 scholarship limit and not a 34
yeah,
player limit.
you can be a walk-on and still make NIL, you know?
Oh
All right,
boy.
here's like he
Yeah.
said 11 hours ago, the next 2 hours and 15 minutes are a wild time in the NIL space. Any new deal executed after midnight tonight has to be approved by the clearinghouse, and any payments for pre-existing deals made after July 1st will have to be approved as well. If you have questions about tonight's house settlement and what it means for college baseball, I'm putting together a cheat sheet for you right now. Hold
But
tight.
wait a minute. Any deal approved after minute, but it's within that limit, right?
That's what he made it seem like.
So you can make a $599,000 deal this morning, and it's not subject to anything.
Yeah. But let's say Mississippi State. I don't know. I'm just throwing money out. They literally gave Ace Reese a new deal last night. Let's say they're paying him like 750 or 800. They don't have to jump through all these hoops, you know. Like they just agreed to that deal. Like, okay, we did it before the deadline, and then they're like, all right, easy peasy. Let's just go focus on baseball now.
Yeah. Uh, yeah. I'm sorry. I've heard of it. Um, Open doors. That's the Oh, good grief! How do you explain it? Anyway, I know a little bit about it, but I'm not. I've heard of it. I guess is a better way to put it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the NIL platform. I've seen them on a lot of like when you're that appears on a lot of college player bios.
Yeah, that is true. Sam,
Yeah, we
I forgot about the Ziegler lawsuit at Tennessee. Like
yeah.
I totally forgot.
I think there could be a world where like Zakai Ziegler and Diego Pavia play until they're grandparents
Yeah,
at their
I
respective
mean,
schools.
like, look, it's easy to make fun of, and rightly so. But like, would you rather like stay in college and play the game you love and make a boatload of money, or would you rather like go off and not make nearly as much money? You know,
Yeah,
like yeah, he's not an NBA player, but he's an incredible college basketball player. So if he can play college basketball for as long as you want and make mid six figures, why wouldn't you do that?
I've wondered for a while, like, and I don't think this would happen, like, but how much of minor league baseball could college baseball replace potentially?
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, if guys can get paid to play minor college ball for several years, you follow?
Yeah,
Like, do you take a lot of the development? Like, does that become the place where all of a sudden a lot of guys don't go, sign with a minor league club or with a professional organization out of high school? I've
well, I
always
mean,
thought that made more sense. No, you don't have as long of a season, so that's probably where it falls apart. And you do have towns that don't have college baseball, have had minor league ball for so long that would
mhm.
miss that, and that's probably the other place that it falls apart. But
Yeah, I agree with Mac. Like we already are kind of seeing that. I mean, think of like you touched on one of the names, Tyler Bell at Kentucky,
Hunter
William
Elliott's
Smith.
another one. Yeah.
Yeah, Elliott. He does have another year, and is he going to do that? I mean, I guess we'll find out. But
Yeah.
Trust me when I tell you that life in college baseball, and in particular like the SEC and ACC, it is way better than anything going on in minor league baseball.
Yeah.
Better facilities, better crowds, travel is like in a different galaxy better.
All right, let's wrap it up because I know the title of it is reaction to last night. So if you missed it, Auburn loses 7-6 to Coastal last night, uses a good portion of its good pitching, still got a lot of arms left, but Myers threw 29 pitches last night. That hurts a little bit. Dutton's burn, it wasn't very good anyway. Griffin Graves is probably done for the series at 50 pitches. Mike could come back in the game 3. And Coastal's got pitching coming out at its ears. So Auburn's going to have to get probably more hits with runners in scoring position today than it did last night. Tennessee, Arkansas, weather willing, starts at 5 Central, I believe, is the time. We'll have Marcus Phillips and Zach Root. And then LSU presumably will be Cade Anderson. I don't know if that's been announced. And Griffin Kern for West Virginia, their ace, who was a D2 transfer, who's pitched really well for them this year.
By the way, what do we think of Phillips going game 1?
I don't like it unless it's just a rest situation for Doyle, which I'm guessing it is, because I don't know.
He pitched the 9th.
Yeah, I'm gonna favor Root in Arkansas's bullpen in game 1, and so then you're really up against it. See, I thought with Doyle, they had a chance to maybe put the hammer down in game 1 and get a little tension in that building. We've seen how that goes.
Yeah,
because I think Doyle's better than anybody Arkansas's got, and now you don't match him up against Root either, which had a chance to neutralize Root a little bit, who's their best starter. But, okay, listen to this. That might be part of it too. Do you mean in the regional he did? Because I know that the blister issue carried late in the regular season.
I think that means the last time against Arkansas.
Okay, yeah, because I didn't hear much talk of the blister last time. He was really good, but I'm like, to me, if I'm Tennessee, I'd rather have Doyle in game 1, all things considered.
Yeah. Did you see that story that came out yesterday? Tony Vitello said he never had a conversation to Liam Doyle about like going down in the bullpen to warm up against Wake Forest. Like Doyle just came up to him and said, "Hey, look, I'm going to the bullpen right now. Like there's nothing you can do or say about it." And then he just left the dugout and just went to the bullpen. And Tony was like, "All right, I guess he's in the bullpen right now."
I'd forgotten that Phillips beat Root. That was one of Root's really good starts, I think. I guess Arkansas was the one. Yeah, that was right. That was the game 2. I was thinking that was LSU where he had the really good start, but I think Sam's right.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it.
Also, if you remember, these were the games. I think 2 of the 3 games were on ESPN, and they were all like 4 hours. These were marathon games in the regular season.
Yeah. I think we'll have more of that tonight. We ready to wrap it up?
Let's do it. Full day. Again, triple header on ESPN and ESPN2 all day long.
Yeah.
Fun day for college baseball.
Louisville and Miami starts here in about 10 minutes. That'll be an elimination game. Louisville stuck it to Miami yesterday.
Mm-hmm. And Alfred's at that.
Yeah. Yeah. Fun place to be today. All right, we will be back with reactions. Let's see. I'll give you probable time frames. I think what we'll do is maybe we'll go around 4 Central to talk West Virginia, LSU, and then Auburn-Coastal as that's going. Don't hold me to this, but just if you're waiting to check in. And then we'll probably do a Tennessee reaction around 7 tonight. And then we'll do it all over again on Sunday, whatever the schedule is. But generally, we try to go live 2.5 to 3 hours after the first pitch of whatever game we're keying on. So that's kind of what we're looking at. So be sure to hit the subscribe button. That's free, and enable your notifications so that you get those. That costs you nothing. And join the membership tier if you don't mind. I put the link at the very, very top of the chat. It should also be in the episode description. It's $4 a month. That helps our channel. We have bills to pay just like everybody else. Helps us keep our thing going here. So we'd appreciate it if you do that. And we did have some members-only content this week. We talked some baseball, and mostly it was just turning Jay Greason loose and letting him tell stories. So it'll be a mix of that going forward, I'm sure. But anyway, glad you guys are all here. Have a safe and happy Saturday. For Graham Doty, I'm Chris Lee. Thank you for watching. God bless you. We'll see you again soon with more baseball content at Southeastern 16.